The year is 1688. Across the vast, churning Atlantic, England undergoes a seismic shift. But on the American coast, a far more ambitious transformation takes root. From the icy, jagged shores of New England down to the sun-drenched, humid plains of the Carolinas, English settlements stretch like a growing spine along the continent. This is not merely a story of simple expansion. It is a volatile world defined by intense religious fervor, an insatiable hunger for land, and the cold, hard reality of human bondage. As the 17th century unfolds, these fragile outposts are evolving into something entirely their own, setting a stage that will one day rewrite the history of the modern world. The frontier is no longer just a line on a map. It is the heartbeat of a new society. The spark begins in 1632, when King Charles I grants 12 million acres to Cecilius Calvert. Calvert, a devout Catholic, envisions Maryland as a sacred sanctuary from persecution. Yet, history ignores his carefully drawn maps. Protestant dissenters from Virginia flood the territory, their refusal to bow to the Church of England sparking a violent revolt in 1650. The Calverts eventually regain control, but the religious fault lines remain, waiting to fracture again. Farther north, the air in Massachusetts grows thin for those seeking true autonomy. Thomas Hooker packs his belongings in 1636, leading his congregation west through the wilderness to carve out Connecticut. They sought a place where the spirit could breathe, away from the rigid thumb of the Boston clergy. It was a time of migration, driven by the search for a soul's true home. Meanwhile, Roger Williams dares to propose a radical heresy: actual religious freedom. In Rhode Island, he negotiates with the Narragansett Sachems, establishing a haven where government cannot dictate belief. When Anne Hutchinson arrives, cast out by the harsh Massachusetts clergy for her defiant preaching, she finds a home among the Quakers and Jews who have nowhere else to turn. By 1663, King Charles II grants this experiment a royal charter, proving that a colony does not require a single, state-mandated faith to survive. England then turns its gaze to the middle colonies, eyeing the natural highways of the Hudson and Delaware rivers. In 1664, English forces seize New Netherland, birthing New York, while the Jerseys become a patchwork of Quaker idealism and political tension. The map of America was being redrawn, not just by explorers, but by outcasts and dreamers. To the south, the Carolina Charter of 1663 promises land and liberty, yet the settlers demand more. By 1691, North Carolina splits off, forging its own stubborn path. In 1670, 3 ships from Barbados drop anchor in the Ashley River, establishing Charlestown. Here, the landscape is reshaped by the labor of enslaved Africans, whose deep agricultural knowledge makes rice production a powerhouse. By 1710, South Carolina stands as the first province with a black majority, its massive wealth built on the brutal foundation of human chains. In Pennsylvania, William Penn attempts a different dream. He builds a society on Quaker ideals, inviting Germans, Swedes, and Finns to farm the land in peace. Yet, even here, the contradiction bites deep. When the ship Isabella arrives in 1684 with 150 captives, the colony's promise of freedom collides violently with the demand for labor. The air in Philadelphia, once filled with the promise of brotherly love, now carries the sound of the auctioneer. Even Penn himself participates, though he struggles with the morality of his actions. But a small, brave voice of dissent begins to rise from the soil. In 1688, the Germantown Quakers pen the first formal anti-slavery petition. It is a tiny flicker of defiance in a vast, encroaching dark, a plea for the recognition of human dignity that would take centuries to fully ignite. The wealth of the New World was growing, but the cost was being paid in the currency of human souls. By the turn of the century, these colonies are no longer fragile outposts. They are a sprawling, complex network defined by deep divisions. Who owns the land? Who is truly free? These questions pulse through the streets of Philadelphia and the vast plantations of the South. The colonies are evolving into something entirely their own, a tapestry of hope and horror. They are setting the stage for a future that will one day rewrite the history of the world, leaving an indelible mark on the soul of a nation yet to be born.